They didn't discover a crisis, they manufactured one and handed it a megaphone. Let me show you how a basic demographic trend turned into a racial panic campaign dressed up as math. Because when powerful people promote conspiracy theories, it's never an accident. We are watching influential voices with massive platforms push the idea that declining white fertility is an existential threat. Not a policy challenge, not an economic issue, a threat. And they're packaging it as a neutral statistic to make it sound inevitable, scientific, and harmless. Except it's not harmless. It's the same messaging at the core of the Great Replacement Theory, the ideology linked to multiple acts of mass violence. When someone with a global audience repeats it as simply a fact, they're not reporting data, they're building a narrative. These arguments didn't appear out of thin air. They came straight from 20th century ethnic nationalism, which claimed that founding populations must be protected from cultural dilution. That ideology justified segregation, apartheid, and worse. Today, it's been rebranded with charts and maps, but the script isn't changed. A worldview where birth rates become destiny, migration becomes invasion, and children become demographic weapons. A worldview that treats diversity as decline and suggests democracy cannot survive once outsiders reach a certain number. This is not analysis. This is a soft focused version of the same old racial hierarchy. Why does this matter to regular people? Because demographic shifts are normal. Every country with higher education levels, better health care, and expanded rights sees lower birth rates. Japan is shrinking, South Korea is shrinking, China is shrinking. But those examples don't fit the narrative, so they disappear. The panic isn't about population, it's about power. Politicians and billionaires can't solve rising costs, wage stagnation, childcare shortages, or collapsing social safety nets, so they frame falling birth rates as a racial emergency instead of a policy failure. And the danger is simple. When you convince people that their neighbors are a threat to their survival, history tells us exactly where the road leads. This isn't data, this is demographic cosplay with a political purpose. They're not forecasting the future, they're shaping the fear they need to control the present. If you want the fuller story and the context they would rather you ignore, join me on Substack. That's where I go deeper and lay out the analysis without restraint. The link is in my bio.